Today, we're talking about storytelling at work. If you want to stop being overlooked and start getting chosen for bigger opportunities, you need to know how to tell better stories. In this short session, I'm going to share 5 of my favorite storytelling techniques that will massively improve your influence at work. After this, I guarantee you will think differently about how you share your career stories. By the way, I'm Stan Miller. I've taught hundreds of leaders how to tell stories that win pitches, turn interviews into offers, and convert their valuable experiences into the opportunities they deserve. I think about this stuff all the time, so let's dive in. My first tip is called reverse roles. Most leaders make the same mistake at work. They put themselves in the main character role of all the stories they tell. That means you end up overselling, obsessing about what you did and the results you delivered. You're positioning yourself in this scenario as a savior. But here's the real problem. If you're always the main character in all of your stories, your audience tunes out because in their mind, they're the main character. They have all the problems, they face consequences and failure. Now, they're more likely to trust your help if your stories are about how you've helped people like them. Your role in your career stories is different. You're the mentor. Your job isn't to pitch ways to save them. It's to help your main character, your company, your client, your team overcome obstacles and avoid negative consequences. You're Yoda and they're Luke, you're Haymitch and they're Katniss. We know this because the mentors aren't the ones on the front and center of the movie poster. But without them, the main character never wins. Now at work, that means shifting from look at me to here's how I helped. So instead of obsessing about your achievements, accolades, and awards in your stories, position your stories to focus on main characters that you've guided previously to success. Now, this is the fastest way to prove you're ready to be a mentor. It's a small shift, but it changes everything because heroes get applause, but mentors get chosen. And changing your language is the fastest way to prove you're a mentor. This leads me right into tip number 2. I call it the desire and conflict dance. All great stories follow the same rhythm. The character wants something, an obstacle gets in the way, then they try again, but another obstacle stops them. Here's where most people go wrong in stories. They fall into what I call and then syndrome. They sound like this, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's flat and it's lifeless. It's because and then stacks events, but doesn't create tension in stories. It feels like you're reading a grocery list. There are no twists, no turns, no suspense. It's a checklist. In fact, Robert McKee, the storytelling legend, said, true storytelling requires confrontation. So here's a quick fix for you. Trade the language and then for words that create friction. Those words are but and therefore. And here's what it sounds like. The team had a plan, but the system crashed, therefore they had to pivot. Words flip your stories from predictable to magnetic because tension is what keeps people watching until the end. My next tip is set the scene. Most people make this mistake when they tell stories at work. They want to get straight to the ending or straight to the point. They reveal the solution too early. They drop the fantastic payoff right away, and it's not their fault. Why is this? Because we've all been conditioned to get to the point, to be efficient, to skip the setup. But here's the truth. A good story doesn't rush, it earns attention and builds belief. Unlike a movie, you don't have 2 hours to unpack how it all happened. So if you give away the ending at the start, your audience will tune you out. They won't lean in, they won't stick with you. So instead of jumping to the payoff, anchor your audience at the beginning of the story. Give them 3 things. Give them the time, give them the place, and give them the atmosphere. Because if they don't know where the story starts, they can't imagine where the story is going. Now, here's a very simple example. In 2020, I was leading a remote team in San Francisco during the global lockdowns. Now, your audience is there with you in that example. They remember what the global lockdown feels like. They can see it, and they can also feel it. This is important. That is the power of setting the scene. It makes your story more vivid, relatable, and unforgettable. If you skip the scene, Your story will feel rushed, but when you set it, your audience takes the journey with you. And once they're in the scene with you, your goal is to keep them with you. And this leads me to tip 4, raise the stakes or lose the room. Most people tell stories like this. Here's a problem, here's the solution, and here's the benefit. It all sounds nice, but it doesn't move anyone. What's missing? The consequences. In storytelling, we call these consequences stakes. An easy way to reveal them is to ask the question, what happens if nothing changes? Stakes are what make people lean in, they turn interesting into urgent, and they make your audience feel the pain and solidify the importance of your role as the mentor in the story. Here are a few examples. If the project failed, the client's deal was gone. If we missed the deadline, the company's reputation was on the line. If morale didn't improve, we were going to lose half of the team. Without that layer, your story is background noise. With it, your story creates tension, urgency, and a reason for your audience to act. And if you're pitching, no stakes means no reason to decide. This leads me to tip number 5, close with the new reality. Now, most leaders end their stories with numbers. We increased revenue by 20%. We finished the project 10% ahead of schedule. But here's the truth. Numbers alone don't move people. They're impressive, but also forgettable. The true ending of a story isn't the result. It's the new reality those results created. I'm going to say that again. The true ending of a story isn't the result. It's the reality those results created. When you're pitching, it's a future reality. It's painting what life could look like if your idea is chosen. Other times, it's a past reality, showing the ripple effect of what actually changed. Finishing the project isn't the payoff. The payoff is what life looked like after. So here's the move. Write your last line first. Write your ending first. Decide what new reality you want your audience to see, because when you reveal that reality, your story doesn't just end. It lives on in the minds of your audience. All right, that's it for this one. If you got value from this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more. On this channel, you'll learn how to grow your business and career using the most powerful tool you already have, which is your story. You'll find short lessons and conversations with entrepreneurs, leaders, and coaches, each one a masterclass to help you communicate more effectively. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought of this video, and I'll see you on the next one.